What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to SteveBussaGS. We got another score card reaction for y'all. You already know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, yo, GSGang, what is good? Zambia, what's poppin'? Yo, let's talk about it, man. I'm here to become a fan of Tim. Alright, he dropped a new album called Sonder. I've heard a lot of good things in the Twitter sphere about it so far, and I'm ready to tap in for myself. So far, our journey with Tim has been kind of like the opposite of the gang. So the gang's like opinion is that he's like the greatest thing to walk out of Zambia. He's got a very, very proud fan base and stuff like that. And I've yet to find the track or set of tracks that really like I personally connected with that made me a fan. I'm hoping to find that during this album review, right? So I'm gonna check this out for now. I want to share this with y'all, just an opportunity to get y'all to get the conversation going with us and shit like that. Tell me what you liked on the album, what you didn't like. What do you think is more for the channel versus not for the channel, right? Let's really give it a shot, dig into it, and come out of it with a better understanding of who Tim is as an artist and whether or not the music is for us, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? I'm very excited about this because it's not too often that y'all are wrong about somebody being dope. You know what I mean? GSGang, actually, I think, let me not, is he on this track? It says written by Tim and GSGang, or is that is GSGang his last name? I seen the artist, GSGang, retweet this out and say something along the lines of he started becoming disparaged with the hip-hop genre because of how negative it was, and basically shouting Tim out for like, yo, your album was uplifting, this is like a breath of fresh. I'm excited for that. I want a breath of fresh air too. Like, I'm here for it, alright? So we're going to go into this. I asked you guys what was the one that you wanted us to react to, what would score the highest. I was given Judas. I am just now realizing this is an 8-minute track, so let me talk a lot less. Hold up, this is 8 minutes long. That's cool, we in, let's do it. We're going to really, really give him the listen he deserves, it looks like. So I'm cool with that. Let's get into it. Do me a favor, run the gauntlet, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, little bell notification guy. Let's get it, man. And if you really, really want to support, the best thing you can always do is look out for the artists that we're going to review. So go and run the whole album up and get your own opinion of it as we go and develop mine right now. Let's go. 8 minutes. This is called Judas. Tell you what, look, I'm gonna try to comment as little as possible just because of how long it is. I'm terrible at that. I'm gonna keep pausing and talking. This is a good ambient setter, right? There's no confusion. This is very somber, right? This is like I feel like I'm by a campfire, someone about to have like a private conversation. This is a very good mood setter for this intro. We haven't even had a beat drop or nothing like that. I see where this is going. Okay. That was a smooth drop. I thought we were about to get like a banger of a drop. That was super smooth. Okay. I'm in. Let's see what's going.
Hi, my name is Judas. A disciple of the rabbi, one of his 12 students. I write this with 30 pieces of coin in my pocket. Let me tell you about just how I got it. See me, I'm from another...
Alright, let's break it down. So, we are getting storytelling hip-hop. We're here for it, right? 8 minutes long. Makes a lot of sense. We had a full beat drop go through before we ever had any kind of lyrics on this. And I guess if the track's 8 minutes long, then you could afford to do that twice in the beginning. I'm cool with it, right? We're getting a storytelling track from the perspective of Judas. That's interesting, something you don't hear a lot. For those of you who don't know, I was actually raised Catholic. I have 12 years of Catholic schooling. So I do have, as far as like Catholicism, Christianity, and stuff like that, I do have a good amount of background on it. In addition to that, the only time I've ever seen somebody really give Judas's perspective the time of day is in the musical Jesus Christ Superstar, not the newer one, it was the older one. And Judas done sung Jesus under a fucking rock. Just, there's an irony in that. But anyway, like, it'll be interesting. So we got a storytelling track from the perspective of Judas. And he did, right off the bat, he did a good job of kind of explaining to you time period-wise what has happened. He's already got the 30 pieces of silver in his pocket, so it puts you in the perspective of, like, time frame where we're going to be hearing this spoken from, you know what I mean? So this is already after the betrayal, so on and so forth. Like, let's go.
I write this.
Or right before.
It's with 30 pieces of coin in my pocket. Let me tell you about just how I got it. See me, I'm from another place, and they've been familiar since they were young. So I felt like I was here by myself, and they were one. It didn't bother me. Rabbi fills the pages that I write. Let me share some of what he said. Not verbatim, but he was like, verily, 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 I say unto you, nobody will inherit the kingdom rejecting this news. I came so you can have life even as you rest in a tomb. And I don't want to see any of you be destined for doom. So take the time, invest in it.
That's a really good way of turning scriptures into bars that actually kind of went super, super hard. So we have him looking up to the rabbi, which may actually just be Jesus in this context, or an actual rabbi who's preaching the word. I don't know that that lines up timeline-wise, but let's keep going.
It's truth, the rest to be smooth, and some other teaching so powerful that the hairs on the back of my neck, they would move. I thought to myself, boy, if there ever was one, then this is definitely dude. And so I ride with him, me and all the others who found him so amazing. We went out and did things you would doubt if told. They made me treasure, I kept the bag and would count the dough. So I stashed a little something on the side, you know how it go. Just a little bit here and there to pay the dues. I don't make the rules, even you would do that. I'm just a cool cat, and money make the world go round, and I pursue that.
Given a human perspective, right, from Judas's stance, based on how long the song is, I don't know if he's going to stick with Judas the entire time or if it's going to be like the same era from a lot of perspectives. What can I say? The flow is super, super clean. The syllables and the actual rhyme patterns that he's using, I think, are immaculate. Everything does sound super, super clean. I also like the way that he's taking things that, like, if you are raised religious, you know what he's saying, but he's warping it into a way that is, like, in layman's terms for the kids nowadays, almost like as a way to come off less didactic and preachy and more of a way of like, yo, this is in cool terms. This is how we talk about what the actual word of God in this, you know what I mean? Like, this is what is actually being preached about in a way that doesn't sound like you're being taught, so people are with it. All right, let's go. I'm in.
I'm just a cool cat, and money make the world go round, and I pursue that. Money make the world go round, and I pursue that. We were at Mary and Martha's house the other day, in the land where Rabbi raised Lazarus from the dead, and Mary poured some real good oil on him. I gotta say, I told him it's a waste. We could have sold it for a lot of cake, but he rebuked me. I'm done giving my help. The thing is, he doesn't care at all about physical wealth, but what he saves I'll do, in case it really becomes king and saves the Jews. I'm trying to position myself. I really love him, but he been acting weird lately. Talking about amongst y'all, one will betray me. So I asked if it was I, hoping he doesn't say me. He said, who I'll give this bread. Then he dipped that thing and gave me. Looking at me, he told me, what you wanna do? Do quick, the nerves in me started tingling. I had to split. Why would he say that to me? So I went to the high priest who offered me 30 silvers for him. Give that back to me. I took him where he's roaming. That'll probably help him jumpstart his reign, cause it's taking too long to overthrow the Romans. He'll thank me for this. We got to Gethsemane, like what did I miss? Then I leaned in and gave him a kiss.
What? Ah, man, I didn't even check to see that he had all these ads going throughout. All right, let's skip, go back, pull it back. All right, I don't want to skip none of this. So yeah, he's going, obviously this is prior to the entire lead up to Jesus being crucified. A lot of the parables that we're all used to hearing, again, being put into a very digestible format. It's difficult to judge, like, for the track, you have to judge the track for what it's trying to be, right, for what they're trying to do. Is this going on my vibes playlist? Is this going on my go hard? Like, no, like, absolutely not. But as a standalone piece of fucking art of somebody who's trying to give a perspective about well-known fucking, like, it's done really well. And I think that's really the lens that you have to have for this. Like, it's hard to connect with me to connect for it, like, as a song or as music. You know what I mean? Based on the topic, not necessarily being something that I would listen to music about, and the storytelling. Like, you get what you follow me on this? Like, but if you take that aside of it and you just look at it for what it is, like, it's a very, very fucking clean version of people doing that. You know what I mean? So, like, shout out to him for that. Let's keep going. Hold up.
Took him where it's roaming. That'll probably. Hoping he doesn't say me. He said, who I'll give this bread. Then he dipped that thing and gave me. Looking at me, he told me what you wanna do. Do quick, the nerves in me started tingling. I had to split. Why would he say that to me? So I went to the high priest who offered me 30 silvers for him. Give that back to me. I took him where it's roaming. That'll probably help him jumpstart his reign, cause it's taking too long to overthrow the Romans. He'll thank me for this. We got to Gethsemane, like what did I miss? Then I leaned in and gave him a kiss. I got the bag and I'm really glad, so I guess I'll see him when they let him out and we'll deal with that.
Again, the way that he's painting the fucking perspective, like, yo, you're not handling the Romans situation the way that I feel as though you should be doing it. People are getting fucking hurt in your fucking name, and all you're talking about is what happens after you die. They're giving a very, very realistic, fair look through Judas's eyes in this. Yeah, even shit like motivation, like how the motivation is different from just completely selling the dude out to, like, giving the framework for how these decisions like this, how you go from somebody who's like, nah, I'm really fucking with him and what he's talking about, to the point where you get to the point where it's like, yo, I'm now straight up betraying you. And not only that, but also not like, yo, they're going to go crucify this guy, he's going to get fucking off. Like, nah, like, yo, I'm trying to start a fire under his ass. They're going to let him go, which is going to be a quick bit. Like, he's doing a lot. They're doing a lot storyline-wise to frame the scenario for you. Salute for that. I don't know if I would be enjoying this as much if I wasn't raised the way, like, if I didn't have the knowledge of the Bible prior to this. I don't know that I would, like, be able to pick up on every little instance here and there. But as somebody who is familiar with it, he's doing a phenomenal job.
I got the bag and I'm really glad, so I guess I'll see him when they let him out. We'll deal with that. I got the bag and I'm really glad, so I guess I'll see him when they let him out. We'll deal with that. Don't you judge me for my actions, see I'm only human, and soon enough we gon' be above the Pharisees ruling. I've seen him heal the sick and resurrect the dead, and that's probably what he's proving. So from here, it's to the palace we're moving. I got my reasons. Hey Judas, what? Have you heard? Heard what? They say they're gonna kill Jesus. Now what happened next is Judas would implode. He threw the 30 pieces inside the temple and hoped that it would free him of the guilt from his actions. He couldn't cope, for what does it profit a man to gain the world but lose his soul? What amazed me is Judas is Judah, which is praise God. So every time they called him by his name, they were praising God while addressing a man who betrayed God. That is crazy. Little by little, then a little after, a series of little unchecked habits brought disaster. He felt it was over. He was the cause of the death of his master, the culmination of little passes that shouldn't have mattered. See, Judas wasn't supposed to be in charge of the money, and if he opened up to somebody, his soul would be in the clear. Cause the eye can't see itself, so what's your mirror? Judas kissed the door to heaven, but didn't get in there. And all of us...
That's a bar! Hold up! Cause the eye can't...
The eye can't see itself, so what's your mirror? Judas kissed the door to heaven, but didn't get in there. And all of us are Judas somewhere, that's for bloody sure. Except the thorn in his side was greed. So ask yourself, what is yours? What's causing that tug of war? And don't get it confused. Judas loved Jesus, he just loved money more. So what's getting in the way of your spiritual best? Cause you can grieve lust or feed yourself to death, depress yourself to death, procrastinate, deceive yourself to death. What's eating you from deep within the depths? The thing that you detest to tell somebody before was...
Stop it! Fucking hair standing up on my arm. Alright, hold up. He's starting to cut. I think this is what I've been missing. I think this is the Tim everybody else knew about. Alright, hold up. Hold us back.
It's yours. What's causing that tug of war? And don't get it confused. Judas loved Jesus. He just loved money more. So what's getting in the way of your spiritual best?
Like, tell me that doesn't just sit with you, right? Like, come on.
Grieve, lust, or feed yourself to death. Depress yourself to death. Procrastinate, deceive yourself to death. What's eating you from deep within the depths? The thing that you detest to tell somebody for it's too late. Will you open up and get the help that'll lead to good physical, spiritual, mental health? And don't you ever think for a second your presence won't be felt. He's calling out. The truth is in his arms is where he wants you held. Judas ended up facing the fire, but he wasn't the only one who betrayed the Messiah. Yeah, Peter did too. What a menace. Yeah, the same Peter who had walked on water relentless. Yeah, the very same Peter who had cut somebody's ear off for Jesus ended up denying him 3 times, afraid of the sentence. The difference is he confessed it. So it wasn't betrayal, but what confined Judas to doom was his lack of repentance. That could be you. But you're not irredeemable. You're not beyond receivable. You feel it's inconceivable. The thought of someone seeing who you really are makes you even more heavily burdened. But don't be, that's what he gave you people for. But Judas's guilt made him feel beyond forgiveness. What he thought he had control of had eaten him from within him. The both of them having fallen regretted they bad decisions. The difference is Peter opened up with the Lord as his witness, while Judas hung from a tree in a field that is silver bought, and he dangled there for a while as they wouldn't touch him at all. So the branch of the rope snapped from the heavy weight of the corpse, and when he hit the ground he burst, spilling his guts to the floor. Don't be Judas.
I like this. I like this. Instead of having a religious track that is trying to convert you or tell you that your way of thinking is wrong, yada yada, all the shit that we're used to hearing, this is more like a, hey, the people that we know as being like the worst in history chose to be known that way, right? Like, it was always within his power to repent. It was always within Judas's own autonomy to decide what everlasting life he was gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like that message. I like the fact that they're using the well-known stories and shit like that and framing the message you're supposed to get out of it in a way that's a little bit more easily digestible, that lets you kind of like look back at yourself. He's done that like 3 times throughout this track too. Like, this is very much so about, not about hearing the story of fucking Judas, and more about having the framework to look within, and if you find that you are in danger of repeating some of the same thought patterns, you know what I mean, like not repenting because of, out of fear or feeling like you don't deserve it, or so on and so forth. Like they talk about Judas was so guilt-ridden, like that wasn't what he thought was gonna fucking happen, so there's no way he would ever be forgiven, so why, like, there's a lot to digest on this. I'm taking a lot out of this. I think this is very, very good. You wouldn't think that this, like, the stuff that we promote and everything like that, you wouldn't think that this would be something that would score very well. It's going to. This is really, really well done, dog. Let's keep going. We're almost done. Are we? We got another minute and a half. This might just be a whole fade out now. Also, whoever produced this beat, shout out to y'all, everybody that's on there. Shout out to everybody there, because this sounds immaculate. The beat itself, the music, it's not even a beat. The music itself feels like something you would see in like a Disney cartoon, like the old school like Cinderella type shit that you would see going on as like the stories unfolding. It's very, very easy to on the ears to listen to. It feels like good background music. It's not trying to be the star of the show. The star of the show is very, very clearly the story that's being told. But you don't get sick of the beat either. Like it's yo, this is a fucking good pick, risky pick, but good pick. If you're talking about artistic direction, I do not think this long of a fade out is a bad thing necessarily on a track like this, right? I'm generally against the idea of having such a long, build up in the beginning. followed by this at the end as well. But when you tell a 6-minute story, I think it's good to give a chance to digest. This is your decompression. This is your chance to allow the music to keep the train of thought from the story that you just heard, and during this time period, you're dealing with your own thoughts. You're seeing which shit that you like actually related to. You might have pointed the finger back at yourself once. I see what y'all doing. This is dope. I'm here for it. I'm gonna go to fucking sleep. This melody is beautiful. Nah, that was fire. Alright, let's go, man. That was a long video. I appreciate y'all sticking it out with us. I'm in. Let's break it down. Let's talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, what we like, what we didn't like. But I'm going to pause this while we bring this up. Give me 1 second. And we're back. Alright, so we got the scorecard up, ready to go now. Let's break it down. Now, I'm up in the air with Tim. I said that in the beginning. This is the first one that I'm hearing of him. Also, like, this might actually be, like, he's usually a feature on the shit that I've heard him from. I don't know how many, if any, of his actual individual tracks that we've reviewed. But yeah, so for me to become a fan, you gotta catch at least 3 of them on the channel. This is definitely a 1-for-1. Clearly a 1-for-1. Target audience for this one. Look, I'm gonna just keep it like this. I'm not the target audience for this, so the answer is no. So the fact that I feel this passionately about it, and I'm not necessarily the target audience for it, like, that speaks volumes on the quality, the proper setting for this. I don't fucking know, dog. When would you listen to this? This is definitely, like, in a relaxing Sunday, like Sunday morning, relaxing Sunday morning, get your soul right and shit like that, right? Like, we're gonna give Sunday vibes, right? Sunday vibes. Bars or lyrics. It's 25 out of 25. I wouldn't change a thing. I think he sought out to tell a story from Judas's perspective, and he did so in a way that there's nothing that I could say that would make it any better. There's nothing that I could recommend bar-wise or lyric-wise or changes that would make the story more cohesive. Like, he did it perfectly. Like, that was... the goal was accomplished. You know what I mean? Like, this wasn't like, oh, he didn't have any haymakers. Like, no, he wasn't trying to have haymakers. And he was dropping gems on y'all, too. He was sprinkling in some gems. The way he reworded some of the parables and shit like that, put some of them in your back pocket. That was some good shit. The delivery or vocals, 25 out of 25, dog. This is a storytelling track. I want to be able to hear the story. I want you to speak in a concise and articulate manner. I heard everything. I heard every word. I followed the story from beginning to end. I understood when he was speaking as Judas versus when he was speaking as him looking back. Like, I understood everything. It was perfect. 25 out of 25. Beat selection. We already talked about that. 15 out of 15. Sound quality, mixing. Stop it. 15 out of 15. You see where this is going. Alright? Effectiveness. Does this make you want to check out more from the artist? Finally. Yes, it does. I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. This is the first time I've heard Tim, and afterwards I've been like, nah, we missed something. We dropped the ball on this guy. We need to give this another listen. Definitely listen to more of this album. 10 out of 10. Enjoyability. Tricky. It's tricky. A lot of you are gonna score this low. A lot of you are gonna score this low. And especially if you don't have Bible study, right? Like, if you don't know what he was talking about already, it takes away like 30% of the reason to listen to, right? Like, if you don't know the stories that he's now giving you a new perspective on, I don't know that it has the same impact. You can still hear how fucking clean the flow was. You can still look at the multi-syllable matchups and how he didn't force a single line through it. Like, there's a lot of good shit to take away from it. But the enjoyability for me definitely stems from having the background of knowledge of what he was talking about, when he was talking about it, how he was applying different kind of like I don't even know what the fucking word is, but the way that he was putting it throughout his verse in a very easily digestible manner. I fuck with that. 10 out of 10. This is a cool 100. Like, there's nothing that I could say that would make this song better than what it is. They put together a masterpiece with this. This is exactly what they wanted to do. It's easy on the ears. It's an 8-minute track about religion. I'm not religious. It's an 8-minute track about religion. And I listened to the whole thing, and I was happy the entire time. At no point did I want to turn this off. I was constantly looking to see where he was going with this. It's 100 out of 100. That's a perfect score. That's my score. Do you agree? Do you disagree with it? Let me know down in the comments below. Sonder is out now. Check the album out. Let me know if you guys fuck with it. If you guys want something else off of the album, let me know. As always, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I will catch y'all on the next one. Let's go.